and welcome back to another episode of the CrossFit Harrow podcast. Today is episode 91 and we have Lauren who joins us. Lauren, thank you for joining us.
It's okay, you persuaded me eventually.
Twisted your arm for
Took
months.
me a while to agree, but I'm here.
First question, as always, is why CrossFit Harrow?
I was a member of a normal gym for a good few years and just kind of got a bit stale with my training and wanted to mix it up. And it was lockdown and you guys were doing outdoor classes.
Oh yeah, God.
So
Your first outdoor session was in the rain, wasn't it not?
I can't remember. Probably blocked that out of my memory if it was raining.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was pissing down with rain. It was your
And I still came back.
Yeah,
That's dedication, right?
That is. What fitness has been, or sports have been quite a big part of your life for quite a while, right? There's probably a lot of things that people don't know about what you in the past did with sport.
I know, I feel like I don't really sit still for very long. I'm
No,
constantly moving.
But you used to play football.
Yeah.
You used to play football competitively.
Yeah, so in my childhood to teenage years, I started off playing for Hartfield and there was no girls teams at all back then. And my mum started a girls football team just so I could play.
Oh, your mum started it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So then from there, I then got scouted for Watford and then for Middlesex and played till maybe 15, 16. And then I got a knee injury and they wanted it to be my life and it wasn't my life anymore.
How do you make those, to make it your life at 15, 16? How do you make it? That's a hard decision you don't know at all what you could it's hard, right, as a kid?
No, and also I feel like it took away a lot of my
life.
It would have taken away a lot of my teenage years and stuff. And even things like today, I've never watched an episode of Friends. And I swear that's because those years of my life, I was literally out every evening playing football, having a match, doing training, and I never watched all these things that other people
we need
watched.
to go back a second. You've never watched an episode of Friends?
I've never seen an episode of Friends.
Fucking hell. Jesus, Lauren.
I know. Missed out. That's what I mean. I deprived myself from all these things for so long.
You over Christmas on Comedy Central should watch all the episodes of Friends.
Give me something to do.
I suppose at 15, 16, you know, and with girls' teams not really being a massive thing, you're not really sure what to do.
No.
Did you make that decision, or did your parents make the decision?
What, for me to stop?
Yeah.
I made it in the end.
You made the decision. Yeah.
I think it was my mum's birthday and we were going into London for a meal and I asked to have the game off and my coach was like, no, you need to eat, sleep, dream football. And I kind of was like,
I suppose
I actually don't.
In the youth part, in people's youths is the most, not serious part. It shapes you for later, I guess. So they're probably, as coaches and professionals, they're wanting the most discipline from every individual because it will give them the most chance of success as they're older.
And I wasn't like that. That wasn't me.
But it's hard at 15.
Yeah.
You want to be a kid. You want to go and explore. You want to go to the park with your mates. You want to stay up late. You want to go out. It's not easy.
No.
Either way, right?
No. So that was that over.
You said knee injury.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called, but if I ran, I used to get a big golf ball underneath it's a really long word.
Osgood Slatter's disease.
Something like that, yeah. Which was good at the time.
That's a growing pain. I mean, I never knew what that was.
How do you know what that is then?
Well, I never got it. Osgood, it's very common in football.
I think it's where your muscles don't catch up with your...
Something like that, with the bone
growth
structure.
Or something, yeah.
So stop playing football and... what happened? What was your... Because fitness, you've always been around it, right?
Yeah, so then I did lots of running and things, and then I got to maybe about 21 and I was like a stick. I'd just done a half marathon. I was so skinny and all I wanted was a bum. So I was like, right, I need to stop the running, gonna join a gym, got myself a gym membership, didn't know what I was doing. I paid for 12 personal training sessions with my brother's fiance, so we went and made each other go, and then I just fell in love with it and
really
stuck it out from there.
A good way to get started is having commitment with your brothers.
Yeah. So we made each other go to personal training sessions. We only paid for I think it was 12 we paid for. Then after that we just did our own thing.
And then from there you've pretty much made it as part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're quite a consistent individual with training.
Don't have much of a rest balance. I feel like I need to work on that. I'm very go, but
And how, when you starting out training and stuff, like, so a lot of, I mean, it was new to you just like it was for everyone else, right? But I guess with where you are currently now in terms of your fitness and your aesthetic, it's a very advanced, and people, especially women, would adore where you currently are. But you were equally in that starting position, just like a lot of females walking through the door. But along the way, have faced your own battles of it, right?
Yeah, and I think now I'm kind of like, I think when I was a member of the gym, I think it was a little bit like unhealthy and an obsession with having abs, and I used my Fitness Pal, tracked all my macros, did my calories.
Well, this is the stuff that I want to talk about with you greatly, because, you know, for those of, I'm sure most listeners and most people that watch this obviously know who you are, and, you know, it is very, you have, like, your abs are great. Male or female, they're great abs, but you've had to sacrifice a lot. Well, yeah, a lot you did. And it's all great, people saying, oh, I wish I had abs like Lauren, or I wish I, you know, but you've had to do a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't do in order to be in the position that you are.
Yeah, it was, I did a good maybe year, 2 years with my Fitness Pal, having like a maybe one cheat meal a week. Obviously I had times off when I was going on holiday and everything else, but that gave me, I think, the foundation. So now I kind of roughly know how many calories I'm eating throughout the week, but when the weekend comes, I drink those Prosecco's and I don't regret it.
But you've, and I'm not saying it's the wrong way or right way or anything, but what my point is that you've had to put in a lot of work to understand the fuel, how much of what it is that you need in order for your body to be a certain way.
And I think I've kept things like, for instance, oats. I have like
got
oats
a staple
every morning for breakfast, or I put them in a smoothie.
Everyone's now going to start eating oats.
Yeah, protein oats, guys. It will change your lives. A bit of protein powder, oats, oat milk, maybe a spoonful of yogurt, some frozen berries. Thank me later.
All the supermarket sales are going to go like that.
But things like that, I would now always measure my oats. I wouldn't just free pour them, because you don't realise how many you're eating and how many calories. Same with like rice, pasta. I used to like fill the saucepan with pasta and eat the whole thing.
And I suppose when you're younger, and with also because everyone has got, and I'm not sure people know this, but everyone has got active energy levels that is applicable to their body. How much energy their body needs or burns throughout a day-to-day basis, and what you need is going to be very different to what someone else needs.
Yeah, I do think I'm quite lucky. I do eat quite a lot.
Yeah,
my
but
metabolism's good, but I work out a lot too.
But also an athletic background. Your athletic backgrounds will be very different to what someone else, whether it be a younger woman, an older male, it's going to be completely different, because they might not start exercise. And people don't also realise this, is that with your background of playing football and we're not saying like just recreation in a park, like there's going to be a certain standard and level of discipline that's required. But some people coming into a fitness journey like in their 30s, whilst whether it be you or someone else has started that when they were like 18.
Yeah.
So there's a 12-year advantage on that. With your MyFitnessPal stuff, you worked out what it is your body needed, and you worked out a trial and error to begin with, right?
I kind of looked at the calories I ate and didn't change anything, and kind of like looked at what I did. And then if I was, say, going on holiday, I would start dropping that down for 4 weeks. And then... Oh,
so you tactically done it that way? Oh, right.
If I had like something coming up, I would like diet for it maybe. And then I'd let it go a little bit. And then I wouldn't just keep dropping my calories. I'd kind of do it gradually and then maybe up my cardio a little bit. And then I'd like sit at maintenance for a while. And then...
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Some people would probably just a few days out change that.
And I feel like if I saw myself like putting on weight, say like for the month of December, I'm not going to worry at all about what I eat or drink. And then in January, I'll probably be really good and go on.
It goes
like
back to having a staple though. You've got a base. You've got foods that you've based around your diet day to day, day in, day out. You've also got like activity levels and exercises, not necessarily specific exercises, but training volume that you have around that too. It's not like you don't do anything.
No.
You sacrificed a lot in those 2 years, though. You said, food-wise.
I wouldn't say a lot. Like, I mean, my routine is very, like, it's easy. I'm not working in London where I'm walking past all these fast food places. I literally have to take my food to work because otherwise I have to eat what the kids eat, and I wouldn't want to do that. So
Fish fingers
yeah,
and baked beans.
it's not the best. So I would always have like my oats or my smoothie. Then I'd have like a fruit snack, and then I'd have my chicken rice and veg or salmon rice and veg, and then I'd have like something to eat before training, and then I'd have my chicken rice veg, salmon rice veg,
But
and I don't get bored of it.
You didn't?
No, I still don't. I really enjoy it.
But that's what I was going to say. Throughout that, you were eating it not because you had to, because you enjoyed the food.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad that you've said that you were eating pretty much similar things, because that is what allows change to happen within the body. If you're giving yourself the same amount of nutrients, whether you break it down to fats, proteins, carbs, but your body can adapt to that intake. If you're constantly changing your foods.
And it's too much if you're tracking your calories, if you're changing what you eat every day.
It becomes so fucking hard.
Yeah, and that's why people give up, I think, because it's so time consuming. Whereas if you know that what you're eating is this many calories, then you don't have to keep faffing around with changing it.
And that's where, doing it for a certain period of time, where you've done it for 1 to 2 years, now you can look at food and you can make better decisions just on knowing what's on that or what's on that menu, knowing where you can piece meals together because you know what your body needs.
Yeah.
But equally, still being able to enjoy the foods that you want to...
I would never think about what's in the food when I go out for dinner. Like, I can't just order one meal. Like, it has to be starter, main, dessert.
You wrote an article, or however you guys done it with K's, about some of the byproducts of the process that you went through.
Yeah, so I think that me being part of a commercial gym, and I think when you get to a certain body fat percentage, when you then have to put on weight, because you can't just sit at that body fat all year round.
But it's also not good for women.
You struggle with it. And I feel like I've been approached before to do competitions on stage, like bikini competing, and I'm so glad I never did it, because I think I would struggle putting on the weight after.
Yeah.
And I think the whole ethos of CrossFit and no mirrors, and it's not about what you look like, it's what you perform, I think is like the healthiest
version of
fitness. Because going in the gym and seeing these men or women bicep curl in front of the mirror, and it's all about what you look like, not necessarily how you perform.
Or even what you feel like.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
Because it can be, it is massively detrimental to people's... Not even like their training performance, also like how they feel about themselves, their mental health, how they approach things.
Because you're exhausted. If you're not giving your body enough calories or enough nutrients, you are tired because your body's not recovering.
And that's also one thing that people do. They go from eating X amount, whether it be good or bad, to be like, right, today I want to start eating healthy. And the version of healthy is like, I'm not going to have breakfast, or I'll have a coffee and a whatever.
Yeah.
And for lunch as a salad. And you're like, well, actually, there's no energy in any of those two meals for the work. So you could get away with it for a day because we've got this stored glycogen, we've got that stored energy. But any further than that, you're probably going to suffer quite bad. Yeah. But also for women, what you were saying about percentage body fat, for women being that low all year round is not very good for them.
No, so they stop their periods and
chances of having children are
they
lower.
Can't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know why we don't talk about it, like, as in the industry doesn't talk about it more, because there are a lot of women, even guys. I mean, obviously not the pregnancy element, but who suffer from whatever it might be at 16, 17, 8, all the way to in their 20s.
Yeah. But I think maybe things are getting better. I think like there's a lot more people on, say, social media who are saying, this is a fake photo, this is edited, this is... Whereas...
Power of technology.
Yeah.
You can literally edit any photo you want.
Yeah.
Even if like you joke around about stuff that's going on in the news, like anything can be viewed to be however you want it to be viewed. There could be... I saw something the other day with Boris Johnson about the whole party they had, and he was delivering a speech, and then the doors behind him open. As a party. Like,
people are so clever, aren't they?
Yeah, you can make things as you wish. So what would be your advice to someone who wants to improve the way that they eat, What are a couple? Have you got any do's and don'ts that you think that come off your head to be like, definitely do this and definitely don't do that?
So I would not look at it short term, and I would tell people to take progress pictures, because I think a lot of people focus on the weight of this on the scale, and I don't even know how much I weigh. Like, that should be irrelevant. Yeah. Like, you should not. I don't even look at that. So I would take progress pictures, and you do feel like an idiot at first, standing there in your underwear or a bikini in front of your mirror, or get someone else to do it. Take a front one, side one, back one.
And they don't have to go anywhere.
And they are literally just for you, and that will be your motivation to stick with it. And every month, keep checking in, keep taking photos, compare them side by side, and the difference that you see would be your motivation, not some girl on Instagram or some boy on Instagram. It's how you look like. And then you seeing progress with your own pictures will motivate you to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty fair.
And don't overcomplicate things. Stick to simple things, eat similar things every day. And even like just do the calories. Don't worry about the fats, carbs, protein, macros at first, because that's overcomplicating it. Just literally.
I'd agree to some, like if you're completely new to it, I would say, just
don't put yourself off and have too much to think about, and even do things like have the same breakfast every day, similar lunches, similar dinners, so you don't have to keep thinking about how much is in this. And you've got kind of a base. I think that's quite important. I think if you're completely new and never ever done it, I think just worrying about how much you're getting in, and although I think if you have some level of knowledge, I think it'd be good to, like you said, it would be good to find out what you need if you've got some level of knowledge. If you don't, just in understand how much your body needs. And then you can think about that after a few months. But otherwise, I think it's too much to pick, for people to think about, and people don't stick to it.
Do you think if we hadn't had Facebook or Instagram, do you think it would be as fitness in the world of like aesthetics and like having a six-pack for male and female, do you think it'd be as big?
Well, if you think about it, I think maybe we just missed this, just before our generation. Like, my mum still says this, like, does my bum look big in this? And I'm like, Mum, you want your bum to look big. Like, what are you talking about? And I think social media has given us, like, what's attractive is, like, big legs, big bum.
Yeah, it's like there's focus points.
Whereas before it wasn't like that. So I think...
But there's not science. There's I'm not a photographer, clearly, but there are things in a photo that, like lighting, shadow, all those things that will make a photo look better. On the iPhone, you take pictures, you can change all the content.
Like even like if I'm, say, like, I don't know, I've got a picture of me in a bikini on a beach. If it's midday sun and the sun is directly above you, your abs are going to look good. If it's sunset and the sun's coming towards you, I don't look like I've got a six-pack. So I think like little things like that, people like don't realise.
And along like fitness stuff, you spent a bit of time travelling. Where did you go?
Been quite a few places now. So I've done my whole like year off work, which was really fun, and I'd love to do again, but I feel like I probably should start growing up at the age of 30. So in that year I did Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Bali, Australia, which I lived in for a bit, and then New Zealand, which was amazing. And then I've done like loads of Europe. Every school holiday I try and go away somewhere.
The year travelling, what made you want to do that, number one? And number two, how do you just get up and go?
I did 2 years of teaching, and I thought if I don't do this now, I'm probably never going to do it. So I just went for it, really. And originally I booked everything on my own, and I was really fortunate that a family friend came and did it with me, and also a friend of a friend who's now a good friend came with me as well. And then I was going to go on my own to Bali in Australia, and my friend Megan was like, no, you're not doing this on your own, this sounds too fun, like I want to do it with you. So she came with me for the whole thing. And then when I went to New Zealand, I booked that originally on my own, and then my friend from the UK flew out to do that with me.
I'm a little bit I don't even know what the right word is. How do you just go on a website?
So originally I booked my like Southeast Asia tour through a company called G Adventures, and you pay a bit more for it, but it's just the ease. So they transport you between the different places. They give you your accommodation, and they give you recommendations of things to do in the area. So I did like 30 days around those countries, and that was amazing. Then Bali, I just had a plane ticket there and just kind of found Airbnbs.
Oh, did you? You
along
literally
the way.
just bought a plane ticket, found your Airbnb,
Yeah.
spent however many days in that one.
And then moved on to somewhere else and moved some. Yeah. So that was really good.
And you must have met loads of people on the way.
So many people. Yeah, so many people that I'm still in touch with as
Oh,
well.
so you
which is
still
really cool.
in touch?
Yeah. So that was fun.
When people go travelling for a year, like they tend to have a lot of fun through like parties, day stuff, like maybe some boat things in there. And were they the kind of stuff that you got up to?
So my 30 days around Asia was quite wild.
Yeah.
And then Bali was so chilled. I think we only had one night out in Bali and we were there for 2-3 weeks. And I remember being on one of the Gili Islands called Gili T, and that's meant to be like the lively party island. And we had that as like a fitness retreat. Honestly, I've had like a different experience to everyone else who's ever been there. We got stand-up paddle boards and did like lots of paddle boarding. We like snorkeled with the turtles.
Oh, wow.
We hired bikes and cycled around the island, went on jogs. It was like a completely different experience.
Was there a lot of people doing that at the same time?
So just me and a couple of friends.
No, as in like, could you see there was a lot of others, or was it that it wasn't?
No. I think it was a bit more of a party place.
But did you see a lot of people party?
Yeah.
And what would you say was your favourite part of the whole?
Of all of that?
Yeah.
I loved living. I was such a tourist. I lived on Bondi Beach. It was so expensive. Me and my friend shared a room, shared a bed, so we could afford it. I'd wake up in the morning, do sunrise like jogs down the beach. After work, I trained in Fitness First on Bondi, and everyone there was like a model. Honestly, I was like in awe of absolutely everybody.
It's the sunshine, isn't it?
It was just like amazing, and like just being on the beach at the weekends and the evenings, it was just lovely.
Do you find that when you were there, do you find like everyone was very outdoorsy, very like not a lot of clothes on, but very, as in sunbathing, no matter what their body shape was, they were just out in the sun?
Yeah, it was a very outdoor lifestyle, and I think everybody there had like maybe like a certain level of fitness, or I don't know if that was just the people I made friends with.
I mean, Australia, it is the reason I asked that is my experience when I went to Miami, obviously very different, but because of the sun and being around the sea, people there was no like pressure on what people looked like. It was like, I'm me and I don't care. Regardless of what the views of a body shape were, or in shape, out of shape, people were just out having fun.
And I think like, who's not going to be on the beach when the beach looks like that? Like
everybody,
yeah. You wouldn't have got people.
Would you do it again?
A year out of work? Oh, I'd love to, but I feel like I do need to grow up and maybe think about. I missed the whole mortgage stage. I missed the whole, because I just always spent my money on traveling. But I think now.
But that's in some way that's life experience.
I don't regret it at all. But now I'm like, maybe I should stick to school holidays. I get them quite frequently enough. Yeah. Every 6 weeks I'm off.
As a teacher.
So I think I would kind of maybe keep doing that.
I never done that.
You need to do that.
So I want to do that.
Yeah. I can give you lots of tips where to go.
But that's why part of the reason I asked the question is like, how do you just get up and go, I'm gonna fuck off for a year?
I think that's kind of what my personality's like, though. I think I'm quite like
get up and go,
outgoing and can't sit still for long, and so it's just always been something I wanted to do.
And along that though, where did fitness like come in with that? Were you?
Do you actually know what I did? It was really bad. So in like the Southeast Asia tour, I used to walk into 5-star hotels with confidence, go into the lift.
I know where this is going.
Go into the lift, and then it would say like level 1 here, level 2 here. I'd look to where it said gym, go to that level, and just use the gym.
To be fair, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, right? And everyone should do that when you travel.
And no one said no one bat an eyelid.
No.
Because did you do your MyFitnessPal stuff
when I was traveling?
No, but was it before or after?
After. I still had like abs traveling though. Like I didn't completely.
No, I was just curious to know whether that was part of your year traveling.
Did I
Or if it was
do it
before or
before? I think I definitely did it after, because I did put on a little bit of weight. But maybe I did do it before.
But like in terms of life
Yeah,
experience,
I
you're
don't
not, that's amazing. Like, you know, you spent your youth, let's say, exploring new countries, exploring different cultures, foods,
Yeah.
lifestyles.
As soon as this coronavirus is gone, I'm back to my holidays every holiday.
Well, because you said obviously before, like school holidays, you're always
Yeah.
looking to go on those trips.
Yeah. Another one of the really good ones I did, I went round Africa. So I
Right.
did South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, all camping, which was amazing.
In a tent?
In a tent, yeah, in a tent. And I mean, I didn't think I could do that, but it was so, so good.
Were you having to like put your food in the, you know,
Like cook
yeah.
the foods. Like one of the places we stayed was in this delta, and there was no fence or anything around you. And I was like, how are the animals not knowing like
Who's
to
what?
come and get
Yeah.
us? Because literally there were like hippos like meters away from where we were camping in the river, and they said just the fire, the animals won't come near you because of the fire.
Oh, really?
And like little things like that, I'm like, that was really cool to say.
How did you find out where to camp?
So this was again on a tour.
Okay, fine.
Because if I didn't camp, I wouldn't, like, it was really, really expensive. But this was like a month with your accommodation, lots of the food, and honestly, the people I met on that tour were unreal. Like,
Yeah, I bet.
so good.
And
And saw
'cause
such.
they'd have their own life experiences as well, right?
Yeah,
Some of
yeah.
it's like their first time. Some of it might have been like their 10th.
Yeah, and you just meet people from like all around the world, different countries, but everyone has that like travel bug in common. And
What's been your favourite place?
I loved South Africa, Cape Town. That was amazing. And I also loved Bali.
Yeah, Bali seems
Yeah.
very appealing.
And Italy, obviously.
Mainly for the food, right? What's on the cards in terms of where you like agenda of where you want to travel to?
I would really like to go to Iceland in February, half term. That's definitely really high on the list. And then
And there's a possibility of that happening.
it's got to happen.
There-
I'm
well-
gonna swim there if not. I'm getting to
Yeah.
Iceland.
It's travel's a bit tough at the moment, but there is a possibility it could happen.
Yeah, so that is definitely on the cards. And also I've got 3 friends who are living in America, so I'd quite like to go and do a little bit of a road trip to see them over the summer.
Oh, right. Have you been to America before?
Only New York. It's never massively interested me, but now I've got,
Friends out there.
yeah, I'm like, I need to go and see them, and it'll be a fun little experience.
Have you ever taught abroad?
No, I haven't actually.
Obviously, being a teacher.
Yeah,
There you go. There's your move abroad.
teaching
Dubai.
abroad. I feel like everyone goes and teaches in Dubai, though, don't they? And I don't think it's even tax-free anymore. So I think people used to do it because they didn't pay tax, but I think you have to pay tax now.
I don't know. I think there is
Is it still
tax-free
like
allowance. You have to. Obviously you have to get your visas and everything else, and it depends if you become a citizen or you apply for citizenship or something like that. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So done the travelling part, and then you got back from travelling, and you said what? Now's the time to work.
Well, I did 2 years of work before I went, and then I found a job in the school literally around the corner from my house. That was really nice and convenient, and I've stayed there since.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long's
Haven't
that been?
moved. 2, 3, maybe 5 years in this school now.
And what age do you teach?
Year 2, so
Year
6-year-olds. Yeah.
Out of choice?
Yeah.
Do you get
yeah.
to choose?
Not like choose, but I could say I like this year group, don't move me yet, or I want to try this year group, and where he can, he'll try and keep everybody happy.
Is it hard to if you've got a year group and then you have to say bye?
Oh, I
that
cry
year?
every year,
So-
saying bye to my class. Yeah.
To
So they
that year.
literally turn into like your babies. Like, I love them. And then they leave you and then go to the new class, and then their new teacher's their favourite person. You're like, what about me?
They forgot about you. You sit
Yeah.
in the playground. Like, who the fuck's that?
Yeah.
What made you get into teaching?
I took a year out before going to university because I didn't know what I was going to like. I did not know what I wanted to do. I was going to apply to do a media degree, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I mean, you can tell how much of a natural I am with this whole podcast thing, and it probably wouldn't have suited me being in the media business. So I took a year out. I volunteered in a school. I carried on like my kind of college Marks and Spencer's job, and I also did a supervisor stock take job, which was like
no good,
awful, like horrible. And I worked at a bar, so I felt like I did those 4 things in the year all at once. It was mental.
Oh, all at the same time?
Yeah, it was mental. And then from there, I loved the work experience at the school, and
what did your work experience consist of? What did you have to?
Just helping the class teacher, really.
As a TA almost? Yeah,
I wasn't getting paid for it though. I just kind of did a little bit of voluntary work just to see if it was something that I wanted to do.
What did you study at uni?
So I did educational studies then, and then I did my PGCE.
There's a big commitment going to, like, not sure what you want to do and choosing a very specific...
Educational studies, I know.
Yeah.
I think if I didn't want to do teaching, what would I do?
Well, yeah.
Design the education, to be fair. I feel like they might need some help with that. So...
Well, that's another topic to discuss. Obviously, teaching through COVID, teaching from home has challenged you, as all teachers, quite a lot.
Yeah. It's not something you signed up to, filming yourself.
And well, yeah, I mean, and some, would you say, I mean, I probably haven't asked actually this question enough, would you say some of the teaching in terms of like the curriculum is outdated?
We've got quite a lot of flexibility with it.
Okay.
So we can we don't have like, you need to teach this here, this here, this here, this
Fine.
here. We have like expectations that we need to cover, and we can do what we want with that. So it is...
So, for example, you could pick, let's say if it was something to do with history, as in you could choose the topic that you wanted to not raise awareness, but teach.
So yeah, we obviously have like different topics in different year groups, so that every year group isn't learning about World War II.
Yeah.
But there's kind of statements, and as long as you hit those statements, then you're right.
How did and obviously the last episode with Sachi, I asked him the same question and said, do you think that the lockdown made you a better teacher?
Yeah, because you had to plan lessons well, for me, I had to plan lessons which engaged 6-year-olds at home. And I feel like the parents probably watched these videos and thought, what is she doing? She's absolutely crazy. I was doing things like, go and find this object in your house, come back. And what object is it? And I was like, shout louder, I can't hear you, and things like that. And trying to get them excited about this object that they found. And like little things like that.
Well, yeah, they don't understand.
It's not even live. Like I record myself with these videos and they can play it whenever they want. So it was interesting.
Well, maybe media might have worked out for you.
Maybe it should have. Maybe I've missed that calling in life now.
But you know, for the kids, do you think that the lack of learning that they had because obviously at 6 years old, it's very much in person. You feed off like how they react, their emotions, the way that, you know, whatever it might be. Do you feel that when you went back to school, do you feel that they were very different kids?
I definitely think that children who were only children struggled because they didn't have siblings to play with. Also, working parents, they obviously couldn't give as much time as parents who have more time. So I feel like a lot of children were at a disadvantage with that. Lots of children put on weight. Obviously, if they've been stuck in a flat with no garden, things like that. And
just from activity levels,
yeah.
Not even, and I don't want people to listen to me like, oh my God, we're talking about children putting on weight. We're talking from an activity level, not a fitness gym level, like they've got to be super fit.
But just going out for a daily walk or going out riding their bike.
Running out in the playground, chasing their mate.
Yeah, you don't realise how active they are in a school environment, that they have 2 hours of PE a week, they have their hour lunch break, they have 2 15-minute breaks either side in the classroom, they're
then when they
always
get picked
moving
up,
around.
Yeah.
And they don't, if all of that's taken away, then
it is nuts.
Yeah.
It is nuts. So certain individuals or certain people struggled going back to
yeah.
But obviously we're not necessarily through it now, but through I don't know.
Well, Wales have just said, haven't they,
yeah, I
that
know.
they're
So
gonna-
do you think, would you like to teach the same child, let's say in the group that you've got them now, in 3-4 years time, to see their development of the impact of what's happened?
What, so from the impact from COVID?
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to catch up, if I'm honest. I think when
you
they're
think?
young, and I've like spoken to my granddad about this. So my granddad was evacuated in the war,
Okay.
and he didn't go to school for ages. And he was like, I can read, I can write, I know my times tables, I'm all right. I might not know things that they say you need to know, but he's got by in life. He had a good job, he's done well, I think like, it's not just one child that's missed out. It's every child, not even in this country, in the world, this is affected. So everybody's going to be in the same position.
Yeah, but like, they're going to be in jobs at one point. They're going to be parents at one point. They're going to be in certain positions. Like, some of them, what was it, 18 months? Did they lose 18 months of learning? 12 months of learning?
Yeah, about a year.
Like, that year alone could impact them later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they will catch up. I think like from when I got my class in September to now, like they've made so much progress and done so well that I don't think when they're 6 years old, it has a massive impact. It's more that they've missed their reception and nursery and learning to share and learn to take turns.
Fine.
I think that's harder than
Then
missing
at
out.
that-
Yeah, because
that's it.
other things can be taught. They can
Yeah.
be taught what money looks like, finding change, things like that. Like it's easy to teach that.
I suppose some of it, the major thing they lose, well, not major actually, but one of the major things is the social element, the skills that they learn. I keep
Yeah.
saying this, is like,
That's why like the only children they struggle.
yeah,
with
learning
because-
to be told no, learning to be rejected, learning, well, obviously they know how to share, but like disagreements or whatever it
I don't know,
might
I
be.
don't think I ever got taught how to be told no. I still get angry if someone tells me no.
Would you always, is it only primary that you would teach? Would you teach
I would
secondary?
never do high school. No, could not deal with the attitudes.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it because you taught
No,
college, was it?
Yeah, college. Yeah.
At least they kind of want to be there in college.
They don't.
They still didn't want to be
They
there.
still don't
Yeah, I
wanna
just
be
couldn't deal with that. Couldn't deal with that attitude.
See, there's pros and cons for all age groups, right? Because let's say your age group, they might not be as receptive to learning in terms of understanding. Old age group, they might be because they should understand more, but they don't want to because at 18 or 16, 17, 18, they think that they've got it figured out and
Yeah.
that they're right and what you're saying is wrong. 16 to 18 is tough too.
I don't think I could do it. Maybe university, because I feel like then they kind of know what they want out of life, but even then,
Yeah, but do they?
If I had
Did you
to-
know what you wanted out of life at uni?
eventually, yeah. When I
Yeah.
went to uni to do my teaching, I knew what I wanted to do.
I suppose it's hard, right? At one point you just wake up and be like, right, I'm a fucking adult now. I've got
I don't know. I don't think that's happened to me yet.
to Peter Pan in disguise. You just wake up and you're almost like, well, I've got to do this now. I've got to make a decision. No one's telling you what you should do. You've got to figure that out on your own. And some people do that for however many years. They might do that for 10 years and then realise, oh, fuck.
I've made the wrong choice.
I've made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
But teaching something that you admire and you want to...
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was always, because I loved fitness, it was always like teaching or fitness. And I kind of, when I did my first 2 years, I didn't love the school I was in. And I was like, oh, should I become like a personal trainer or a yoga teacher? And then
I think yoga has a calling for you.
Do you think should I be a good yoga teacher?
I think a lot of people want to get into fitness industry as teach, right?
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, I think when people teach, if they decide to teach, they will see fitness in a very different light. It's not people. So for you, it's a hobby at the moment. You enjoy going.
But this is the issue, because then when it becomes a job,
Yeah, it becomes very
it's
different.
not a hobby anymore, right?
Correct. It can still be to some degree, but it's how you earn your living. It's not like you go and do it for fun. It is
Yeah.
still fun, but you don't go and do it for fun.
But I think if I was the personal trainer and I was taking someone for a leg day and they were moaning about hip thrusts, I'd be like, what? What? How can you not like them? And I think it'd anger me.
Moaning? What's that? Who moans?
I don't moan. That's what you're talking about.
But yeah, people, it is, whatever that might be, it doesn't even have to be fitness, but if you've got if you turn your hobby into a job, it can have a reverse effect.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done it.
Is that why you haven't done it?
Yeah.
It's always been on your
because I
mind.
love it, and I feel like for me, yoga is like relaxing, chilled. Like I feel like it balances CrossFit perfectly.
Yeah.
And if I then had to in the evenings teach yoga, it would take the enjoyment out of me going to do a class because I had to teach other people. So
it's fair enough.
Yeah.
What going back to your travelling, what would you say that those travelling experiences taught you the most?
I can literally talk to anybody now. I feel that it gave me so much confidence.
Did it? Yeah.
And even in areas like if I was in a cafe on my own, I just talk to people, and I ended up making friends that way. And in the gym, I just go up to people, have a conversation, and I feel like that hasn't really ever left me since then.
When you said it helped with confidence, did you feel before that? Did you feel that it's something that you struggled with?
Not struggled with. I've always been
challenged?
quite loud and chatty, but I think that it helped. Like I wouldn't have ever gone out for dinner on my own or anything like that. Whereas if I want to do something on my own now and no one else wants to do it with me, I would happily go and do anything on my own.
I guess that comes with a level of maturity as well, though, right? Because when you're younger, I don't know what age, but you're like, I can't do that. Can't do that on my own. That's weird if I do that on my own.
Yeah.
But then you get older and actually like, no, don't come, please. I want to be on my own.
I'm all right doing this alone.
Yeah.
So definitely that. And also like appreciation for the world. I think the world is so big, and I literally believe that you've got one life, right? And it sounds really cheesy, but you've got one life, and if I don't see all these places, I feel like I've wasted it.
Well, yeah, I've often
and
asked
eating all the food.
Yeah, I've asked this question to a few people, and I get different answers all the time. Is why do we call this home? Like, why are we content, or do we choose to settle here when there's so much?
I think friends and family come into it, right? And I think that like I would never maybe long term be able to move away forever. But if every 6 weeks I can go and visit somewhere new and literally go onto Skyscanner, type my dates in, say flights to anywhere and see what comes up.
Is that how you choose your...
Normally, and I just see where cheap flights are and think, oh, I've never been there before, and I...
Go there.
Yeah. That's how Iceland came up for February. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there anywhere in particular that you are wanting to, apart from Iceland now, like wanting to actually, you want to go see, like you're headstrong and wanting to go see that place?
I would not say no to anywhere. I feel like I'd love to go and see everything. Like I've not done much South America. I'd love to do the rest of Africa. They're probably really high on my list. Japan. If anyone wants a holiday,
but that's
take me with you. I won't say no.
That's where life, because you'd be very, very willing to just go and have fun and go on holiday.
Yeah, and I don't need anything as well. I feel like I'm not very materialistic. I'm happy with a backpack and a few clothes and.
So you'd give it up tomorrow.
What?
You'd give up work. Would you do a sabbatical? Obviously.
No, I need to grow up. I need to get a mortgage. I need to grow up. Stop putting these ideas in my head. I actually looked at a round the world cruise the other day. So I thought, right, I've got this money for a deposit. And I was like, I wonder how much an around the world cruise is. So like, Googled it. And I'm like, oh.
How much are they?
Oh, it's like 25 grand.
How long is it?
Is it 6 months or 9 months? But tempting, right?
How long do you spend in each place?
I didn't look that far into it.
Because it doesn't... It doesn't go to... It goes to a lot of locations. But
it's not like every single place, but you see a lot. Yeah, you see a lot.
You get a good variety.
Yeah. But that could be my retirement, which feels like a very long time away. But dreaming of that day already.
What is that? So usually I ask questions of like what your plans are for you, like personal plans in terms of career or fitness plans. Is that one of your things that you want to...
I'd love to do that one day. Be like a retired teacher that travels the world.
Do you find is work or your current position at work, is it something that you want to climb that ladder, or
No, not at all.
You're content in changing education in the way that you teach and
I think with
serving those children?
teaching, climbing the ladder takes you out the classroom, and I didn't get into teaching to be an office worker. So I think I wouldn't want to ever be a head teacher because you're in an office. You're not with the children. You do the odd assembly or whatever else, but it's not what I like.
You'd want to keep that interaction.
Yeah.
And what about with regards to your fitness? Is there anything in particular that you
God, I just sound like Grant in the goal review.
anything in particular that you want to get from it, or are you just riding the wave? You happy?
I'm happy, to be honest. I think I just want to be able to work out for a long time, not get injured, stay healthy, keep my healthy body, keep my healthy mind, keep killing myself with these workouts that you're programming. And
you some people might not know this, but you were filming when you were off in the summer last year. You were helping with the content that we were filming.
Yeah.
And they were tough workouts.
Yeah, especially talking out of breath.
It's hard, right?
I listened back to those videos after you launched the app, and I was literally like, oh my God, I sound so out of breath. It's embarrassing.
But did that help you for your teaching stuff? Or was that before?
No, I think I did the filming for you after.
Which probably helped actually for you to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why I was so nervous about doing this podcast. It's like talking about your life. Whereas put me in front of a camera doing something stupid, doing some burpees and jumping up and down and dancing to the WAP, tearing my hamstring, all of that kind of stuff. I'm happy doing that.
But it's for those who've never been, it's hard. It's nerve-wracking being on camera. Before, if you've never done it.
I think it depends if you're confident doing it. Because I remember the first time filming for you guys, I was like, oh my God, what if I said something wrong? I'm going to do this. And then when I started doing things wrong, I just laughed at it
but that's the
carried
best way.
On, right?
I usually start obviously people don't get to see this, but if we ever was able to get all the bloopers out, but before we started these, and even when I done the ones about the camera, I'd have to spend a couple of minutes just I'd start laughing. And I would just
get out your system.
Yeah, I just had to get out my system. You always get a bit of a nervous wee, and you're like, oh, fucking hell, all right, calm down, settle, and then you go. It can be quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
If the world, when this gets released, there's a possibility that we would be in a lockdown. But if we were, is there anything that you would do as a teacher different that you didn't do last time?
Teaching.
As in to your students.
I think I'd make sure that the parents knew not to put too much pressure on themselves. Because I think after the last lockdown, talking to a lot of the parents, they were so stressed that they had their own jobs to be getting on with.
Yeah.
That in a way, when you're working at home, it's more demanding because you don't have that switch off. You still have your laptop at home and you might log on, do a quick email, and you don't have that switch off time. So I think that don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't worry about sitting your child there all day because they're not going to be able to do a 9 till 3 day at home because obviously when you're at school you have
breaks,
partner
lunch.
talk and table work and things like that. It's not just them sitting on their own. So I think the mental health side of things should come before any academics, personally.
Very fair to say.
Everyone might disagree with me there, but personally.
No, it's very fair to say. Lauren, we've run out of time for today.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. The class is
me.
very much starting. It was starting very, very soon. But thank you, and guys and girls, we'll join you next week.